The house moaned and shuddered. Was it the house?
Was it
the
people?
sounds inside the house?
Yeah.
Who knows?
All I know is, don't come a knockin' if this hacienda is a rockin'. Hey everybody, welcome to Back Issues of Sal.
I'm Ben.
We're back to the Knightfall saga, baby. We did Knightfall twice now.
Yeah.
But the Redux, I think, was superior in every way. I'm very happy with how it turned out. We invented a whole Redux button essentially for it. We don't need it anymore because we're now going to finally talk about the oft-ignored second chapter of Knightfall, aka KnightQuest. Because KnightQuest is the most boring part. Knightfall is about how Batman is exhausted and broken by Bane.
Right.
Knight's End is about how Batman comes back and kicks the shit out of Jean-Paul Valley because he sucks.
Right. Those are the only two parts that should exist.
And you know what's funny is you are not far off to what DC thought when they were originally doing the first collections of the Knightfall saga. In the first trades of Knightfall, they left out KnightQuest completely.
Probably because it was, they're like, oh no, that's
Probably
KnightQuest.
wise.
That's an entirely different thing.
Well, they're like, we don't even need it. Nobody wants to know about what happened during Jean-Paul's reign as Batman because it sucked.
Well, you published the damn thing.
And it's part of it. You named it.
Yeah, but it's not about Batman.
But it is.
You only care about Batman.
Yeah.
You know this.
No.
So he's just got rid of the Batman part.
It's not about Bruce Wayne.
But it is. In the newer volumes, they have Knightfall Part 1, which is essentially just all of Knightfall. And then they have Knightfall Part 2, which is KnightQuest. But there are actually two KnightQuests. There's KnightQuest The Search and KnightQuest The Crusade. They didn't name Volume 2 of Knightfall KnightQuest The Crusade. They named it Volume 2 KnightQuest.
Just
But
KnightQuest.
They also
But
didn't
you should
include
know.
The Search, which they called KnightQuest The Search.
So this is Knightfall.
That's Knightfall. And
But this is also Knightfall.
Well, that's
Well,
Knightfall Volume 2, KnightQuest.
Yeah, but that is KnightQuest.
But this is
This is
KnightQuest.
just
Okay,
straight
so
up
here's the thing.
KnightQuest.
But this isn't all KnightQuest.
No.
This is KnightQuest, and this is KnightQuest. But this
Yeah.
is KnightQuest The Crusade.
Yes, this is KnightQuest The Search. They only call it Knightfall KnightQuest because no one's going to buy KnightQuest by itself.
Right. They have to trick you into thinking, oh, there's more Nightfall.
Yeah,
but really,
because
it's
it
like,
is. I mean,
Nightfall's
like,
over.
The Knightfall saga is Knightfall, KnightQuest, Knight's End.
But
Right.
I'll buy KnightQuest The Search on its own.
If you want it. But I think what
there
they're
are fewer people who want that.
what
so
they're
let's just put it
admitting
in,
is that you don't need the search.
I don't wanna weigh
even though the
down.
search is essential if you want to know anything that happened to Bruce Wayne. Otherwise, if you buy volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Knightfall, you're going to get Batman, Bruce Wayne being broken, then he's gone, and then he miraculously just comes back. And there's like some vague allusions to what happened, but they are so embarrassed by how they made Bruce Wayne healed that they don't even want to talk about it anymore. To the point where there's actually a reference to a character that is so crucially essential to the Bat mythos at this time that Batman was going to marry her, and she is so heavily written out of the entire saga at the end of The Search that she is only referred to again, ever again, in, of all things, Batman Hush, where Alfred refers to her having been involved in Bruce's healing process when he was hurt by Hush, and Batman says something like, that status quo for her doesn't match up at all.
Oh, I remember her.
Yes, Chandra Kinsolving, who was Bruce Wayne's truest love. He was gonna marry her.
Did we talk about that?
We talked
Isn't
at
she in-
length about Chandra.
Well, we talked about her, but we talked about her in the context of she was a reappearance of a character that had been in
No.
Nightfall.
Well, Chandra was invented before Knightfall and then carries over into Knightfall because originally Chandra
I
is
see,
a
okay.
doctor who heals and helps Tim Drake's paraplegic father, Jack Drake.
Okay.
And then, coincidentally, Batman ends up in a wheelchair too, and he's like, well, I guess I'll just have Chandra help me out too. Plus, I'm also conveniently in love with her, so that'll make it even better.
Right.
Also, the universe was rebooted at least 3 times from Hush to now. So who cares or knows what Chandra's up to at this point?
So here's a question that I was thinking of as you were talking about Nightfall. Is Nightfall even refer, like, does current Batman have this in his past or not even?
Okay, Knightfall did happen. In fact, Knightfall always happened, even in the New 52.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, because Bane exists in the New 52
And
version
he
of Batman.
broke Batman's back
Yes.
in the New 52?
Yes, it's just
when?
within the 5-year span. He got 5 Robins and also had his back shattered and also had Bane emerge.
I guess you're going through Robins real fast.
Yeah, he definitely licked tissues. It was insane. But we're not talking about
Picking
that.
and choosing.
We're here talking about Knightfall. But also, yes, Knightfall always happened during all of the post-crisis retcons to Batman's history. And now that everything happened because we're in an omniverse, Knightfall definitely happened, but we also don't really refer to it much.
Right. So
Mostly
I guess my question is more: is it important to modern Batman?
It is
that
not
it
at all.
happened to him?
No,
Yeah.
no. In fact,
Because it kind of should be if it really did happen.
yes, yes.
Like it would be like a life-changing, like seminal,
Yeah.
like point of divergence in your life from who you
and
were
metatextually
before.
it is because it changed the nature
Yeah.
of how we read and buy Batman comics.
Right.
And he stopped being Batman.
Yeah.
That's massive.
Yeah, it's so rare that he ever does actually give up the cowl, but also sometimes he gets shot by Omega sanctions and then he has to leave, and then we have battles for the cowl.
But the Bat family takes over.
Yes.
Not some
Not
weird
some
asshole.
rando, but also Azrael exists and is part of the Bat family at that point. So it's like there was a dangerous reality where he might have actually tried to get it back. Thankfully, no one was interested in implying that Jean Paul was like, I need a redemption round. You know what?
You know what?
Give me the
I
give me
can
the
do that
mantle.
better.
I can do that better. It's the new millennium. I'm down.
Here's the thing. More blades.
Yeah,
I'm just going to be sharper.
My problem was I wasn't sharp
I
enough.
didn't go far enough in the sharp direction.
Yes, it's like that's why you're never going to be Batman again, Azrael. But what's interesting about Azrael and Knightfall as Bats, as they referred to him, and they said that they used to refer to him as Bats. I do not agree. I think that they did not. I think that they retroactively did because the audience referred to him as Bats when this was long in the rearview mirror. However, future editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics, Joe Quesada, who back then was simply artist and creator of Ash and Azrael, well, co-creator. Denny O'Neil created Azrael. Joe Quesada drew and designed Azrael and Azrael's father. And we talked about the process by which Joe Quesada went to invent Azrael and presented the character to Denny O'Neil, who was crestfallen to find that the cool, old-school knight armor belonged to the father, and that this new, dope version of Azrael that the kids would all love was just too drastic. Like, Denny was like, whoa, that's a little too extreme. But also, he was outvoted. So, also, Joe Quesada was tasked with designing the new As-Bats, or John Paul as Batman armor. And in fact, he didn't just design the one that I kind of have some affinity for. He also designed every iteration, and the discussion internally about Azrael Batman's armor was that it needed to get bigger and weirder and more complicated until inevitably he stopped being Batman. Because at the end of the day, Knightfall is essentially a condemnation of the audience who all want him to be Punisher or an Image character. They're like, no, you do not want Batman to kill people, you don't want him to be extreme, and here's why. Azrael. And it worked so well that the sales dipped really, really badly as they went through Knightfall. So you could tell that, like, at some point or another, they were like, oh my God. Like, they were living
We
in
have
it.
to stop.
If you remember in the last episode, we talked about how they were like, no, a full year, Bruce Wayne will be out of the cowl and we won't even see him. And someone at Warner Brothers is like, no, you will not be doing that. And it turns out
We'd like to eat, thank you.
they were not wrong, because they needed to reverse course on this book that was essentially them admonishing the audience,
Right.
which
It's
always
almost like the
works,
audience was like, I see what you're doing.
and I don't like it.
And I'm not going to keep reading that.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay you to
make
talk
fun of
down
me.
to me. And it's like, fair, but also, you know, your story is going to get looser and lamer as it goes. But
Right.
they did have a plan, and the plan is that Jean-Paul sucks, and he's going to suck more until real Batman shows up and shows him how much he sucks.
Right.
But one of those things was that his armor needs to get more and more weird and gross and stupid looking, and Joe Quesada was tasked with doing it. The funny thing is, Joe Quesada wanted desperately to work on Batman. He fancied himself a creator, and he wanted to be on a Batman title, and he was convinced, and he was right to think it, that he should have a Batman title, and that he would drive sales through the roof because it would look awesome and it would be contemporary and new and fresh.
That's so funny.
He's not wrong, by the way. He definitely would have. But DC was so entrenched and they were so not interested in that concept. They were like, we know people will buy your art, so we will allow you to draw things, but never will you be creative when it comes to Batman? Outside of making things we asked you to make.
Right.
Also, never will you draw Bruce Wayne Batman. You will draw a different Batman.
Well, he did draw him in Sword of Azrael when we introduced Azrael, his replacement.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, and he
like
did
a
do
minute.
a pinup cover once that featured real Batman. But
yeah, but for the series you'll be doing a not Batman.
not only will you not be doing
The rest
Batman,
of the drawings will be as real Batman.
and you won't be doing any books. You'll be doing character designs and maybe covers, but that's it. You won't even be drawing the book. We have people for that.
It's okay. I'll make up for it by having sales like Spike, right? It'll be so extreme and awesome.
Yeah, actually, they're in the toilet. Yeah, you can imagine why.
No one's
he might
gonna see
have
your
had-
covers.
You might imagine why he had such a chip on his shoulder when he went to Marvel.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's just a fun little tidbit about it. But he actually worked on everything, including the KnightQuest Knight's End logo. Like the official Azrael Batman logo is Joe Quesada's logo.
That's pretty dope.
I know, I kind of love it. Although as a kid, I found it like blasphemous. And
It is
I showed it to my art wife, and she was like, that sucks.
She doesn't like it?
She doesn't like it.
Interesting.
I kind of do, and she's like, I know why you like it. Because it's from the 90s. And it looks
it
like
is,
it. And I'm
yeah.
like, but does it look like it's from the 90s because it's from the 90s? Or does it look like it's from the 90s because it represents something from that era? And I think it's both. Bruce Wayne is going to try to rescue Tim Drake's father, Jack Drake. We need that.
Oh, why?
That's the book.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
You're
grabbed the
thinking
wrong
of this
one.
one. I brought that one for visual aids. And also, if you wanted to leaf through it and remind yourself about what's
Of
happening
what
in Knightfall.
the fuck is happening?
Yeah. So when we left off with Knightfall, Bruce Wayne discovers that Jack Drake, Tim Drake, Robin's father and neighbor to Bruce Wayne, is being kidnapped by dudes in ski masks and Bruce Wayne's true love, who no one remembers and hasn't been referred to since 2005. Dr. Chandra Kinsolving has been kidnapped and taken away. By the way,
She's not
same
in
people?
Mask of the Phantasm, is she?
no, she's not.
Okay.
No, that's
That's somebody
Andrea
else.
Beaumont, a character they invented for Mask of the Phantasm.
Got it.
They are sent to Santa Prisa, the island where Bane was born. You'd think, oh, Bane must have facilitated. Nope, unrelated. They just Denny
No, it's
O'Neill
just-
is in charge. He's like, but I invented Santa Prisa and I want to keep using
It's
it.
a real place. Many people can come from there.
Right, but-
I'm establishing a new land.
a new
in
lawless
DC.
place.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's
lots
really
of
what
people
it
are
is.
going to be referring to this because I'm going to refer to it so many times.
Well, and everyone's
You won't
going to
be able
want to.
forget
They're
it.
going to want to piggyback off of the success and meteoric rise
It's
of
brilliant.
Bane.
Yeah.
Santa Prisa's gonna be our North Star.
Bruce goes off to save them, but he's in a wheelchair and he's with Alfred, and he gets his ass kicked. And then,
Alfred's just like,
yes, oh, that's Alfred's catchphrase throughout all of KnightQuest. Is so then Bruce charters a private jet to go to Santa Prisa to get Jack and Chandra back.
what's he going to do?
Right.
Is he going to like negotiate
No.
from the wheelchair?
No, he's
or-
gonna be Bruce Wayne.
He's like, well-
paraplegic.
It's like, I got one of those like speed chairs you can like play basketball and stuff in. I can be
has-
Batman in one of those chairs.
He has a super chair that was augmented by Harold the Hunchback.
Harold the Hunchback is
Yeah.
a character.
We talked about Harold the Hunchback.
What?
I refer to him all the time.
Yeah, he fixes the
He fixed
car.
the Batmobile.
Oh.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he's also a tech wizard. He worked for the Penguin.
I forgot he was
I thought he had a
Hunchback.
wheelchair kind of like in Alien Resurrection.
Yes!
Where like there's pieces in it and he can make a gun out of it.
He doesn't make a gun out of it, but he can like shoot nerve gas and stuff out of it. Like
Nerve gas?
He can do anything with this chair that he needs to.
Right.
And,
Yeah, just like his utility belt.
exactly.
Or an Iron Man suit, but
It's a
wheelchair.
chair. And so, yeah, Batman takes his super chair with him, which isn't previously established until he needs it.
I assumed he would just
Right.
like get them with money.
Yeah.
That's what Bruce Wayne
Right.
had.
Yeah,
Like-
just like bribe them.
Yeah, no. He's like, I'm going to kick ass because we also need to establish that Bruce Wayne isn't a feeble, pathetic man just because he
Right.
is crippled. He can still kick ass. And I'm like, what? Okay. So Bruce goes to Santa Prisa with Alfred, and that is all covered in The Search. And I was actually going to do a whole episode about The Search, and I'm like, let's spare the audience and
Yeah,
just do
could
all
we
of KnightQuest.
not?
Because when I found out that DC left KnightQuest out of the original collected volumes, I was like, okay, we could just kind of skip through KnightQuest. We wouldn't need to do
Right.
as much in-depth analysis.
DC doesn't regard it, so
No one
So why
regards
should
it.
we?
No one talks about it. None of the creative teams are like, man, you know what? I think I was doing my best work during KnightQuest. No one. So I'm like, hey, you know what?
Because nobody was.
It'll just be a fun episode to talk about it. He sets up a residence at a crappy hotel, which costs $10,000 a night because it's for ne'er-do-wells. Like, it's an evil hotel.
Is that Bronze Tiger?
That is Bronze Tiger.
Nice.
Yes, because this is a tie-in to KnightQuest from Justice League Task Force. And so Justice League Task Force, or at least some elements of it, including Gypsy, Bronze Tiger, and Green Arrow, have been dispatched to Santa Prisa to do other things that are not related to rescuing Chandra and Jack. But Batman is on a secret personal mission, and they also don't know that he's Bruce Wayne, so he can't just go, hey, Justice League, help me out, because that would actually solve the problem. Also, he can't trust these guys because this is Justice League Task Force, not Justice League International, which is a team that he was on longer than any other Justice League team in post-crisis continuity. He also can't ask Superman for help because he's dead. So we got this going on.
Does Batman not know any other heroes?
Basically, no. He doesn't work with them. This is also,
he's a loner.
Yeah, we're also dealing with Mike Grell, Green Arrow, who shoots people with arrows with sharp ends that kill people. Like, he doesn't have a boxing glove arrow. He has a bow and arrow that is meant to kill.
Right, like a normal person
Like
would,
an archer
who was
would.
doing that. Yeah.
Exactly. But there's a whole merry adventure in Santa Prisa where essentially there's a lot of bullshit going on. Like, Bruce Wayne wears makeup to approximate a disguise so that when he is effective and badass, the Justice League Task Force will doubt that he is Bruce Wayne, but instead is a badass masquerading as Bruce Wayne. These are the stories.
What? What?
Like, did you notice the makeup on Bruce Wayne? Yeah, I don't know who this guy is, but it ain't Bruce Wayne because this guy is capable and he's not like a playboy or anything.
Kind of reminds me of Batman.
Yeah, right. And so, like, maybe he's Batman pretending to be Bruce Wayne. Oh my God.
Why would anybody do that? Why would anybody try to
preserve
pretend
identity.
to be Bruce Wayne
Well, right?
and a badass that everyone knows he's not?
No, because
it would
he's a
fall
secret
apart.
badass who's looking like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
totally believable.
I-
well, because that is the case. So yeah, people would believe it.
Yeah, except like Bruce Wayne is a millionaire playboy.
Yeah.
He's not a
Yeah.
badass.
No.
What if
He's
he was a
some
millionaire
rich
playboy
pansy.
who was secretly also a badass?
Well, no, they're saying
Which
he's...
he is.
Which he is, but that would
I, as
also...
a writer, know that, so it's a believable concept. So the characters will believe it.
No, they need to believe that he's not. They need to be like, he is so badass and cool, either Bruce Wayne is super capable and might be Batman, or he is someone who is super capable like Batman who's pretending to be Bruce Wayne.
Well, but the conceit assumes that anyone would think that it was a good idea. Like the guy the Justice League has to believe that the guy thinks it's a good idea to pretend to be
Bruce
a
Wayne.
badass Bruce Wayne.
No,
so
he had
therefore
to, no,
they
he
must
let the disguise slip. That's the thing, is that he's like, no, he was doing something else as
I
Bruce
see.
Wayne.
We
but
caught him.
We caught him, and we've connected the
And then I
dots.
realized, like, look at that. That's makeup.
Yes.
That can't possibly be Bruce Wayne.
No,
It
Bruce
has to be
Wayne
someone
wouldn't wear
pretending
makeup.
to be Bruce Wayne.
Bingo. And so that's the plot of that story.
my God.
And Jack and Chandra are both ushered onto another plane and taken away from Santa Prisa, and so the adventure ends there. And so Batman and
so it's a
Alfred...
total failure.
So that sucked, and Justice League got to be in it. So then Alfred and Bruce figure out who is pulling the strings about the kidnapping of Chandra and Jack.
Right, because there has to be
it
a
was-
reason for the kidnapping in the first place.
Exactly. Why did they kidnap Jack Drake? And poor Chandra got roped in because she was, guilty by association. Because Jack was a globe-hopping aristocrat of his own right. Of course, part of Jack Drake's origin is that he is crippled by the Obey Man who killed Tim Drake's mom while they were on safari. And so there's some kind of precedent that maybe someone overseas might want Jack Drake for some reason. Also, Jack Drake is rich, like
Right.
Bruce Wayne. That's why he's in the same zip code.
Right. So people are always
Or at least that's
interfering
why
with it.
they
that's
think
just
it,
normal. I don't have to explain it.
Well, I remember
it just happens to us.
as a kid, I was like, oh yeah, Bane is just further tormenting Bruce Wayne and keeping him away from Gotham by giving him this side quest.
Sure.
But no, Bane is not even aware of what's happening. And especially when they went to Santa Prisa. By the way, Catwoman, aka Selena Kyle, stowed away on the private jet to get to Santa Prisa and does nothing. You're like, oh man, what's the story going to be about where Selena Kyle, who they don't know is Catwoman, stowing away with Bruce Wayne, who she doesn't know is Batman, are going on a clandestine adventure to Santa Prisa, the island that birthed Bane, to save Jack Drake, the father of Robin. But actually, none of those things are connected in any way. And then Alfred says, hey, where'd our stowaway go? And Batman's like, oh, she just slipped off sometime, and we never see her in that adventure again.
Like, you know what? That was the dead end. We're not doing that.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to do that.
No, I put that in the book so that someone else could run.
Yeah, no one wanted to. And so Alan Grant, who is English, was like, they go to England. And so they go to England.
How about they
I know
come to
that.
where I am?
I know that stuff.
Yeah, I got this.
Well, they're on a plane. They can go anywhere.
Yeah, so how
Why
about they go
not?
to England? You know, Alfred's from England anyway. And so
Perfect.
we meet a new character that they invent for the story called the Hood, who is essentially London Batman. And
But he also is just Spawn. Like that mask, that's just fucking Spawn mask.
or Bane.
Or Bane. It's like Bane too.
It's
yeah.
just- it's
but he's got the
everything.
red cowl, so that reminds me of.
He looks like everything being invented at this time.
Yeah.
Yep.
He has modeled himself after Robin Hood, as you could tell
No.
from the total lack of green. But also he has a hood. And he steals from the rich and gives to the poor, which is his MO.
Oh, and look at his shoes.
Yes, he has booties, like Robin.
Yeah.
But
well,
also,
the original Robin Hood, it's actually a misconception that he wore green. In fact, in the original legend, he wore red.
Is that true?
No.
Of course.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I doubt
You're
it.
thinking of Will Scarlet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey.
Should have worn red, but actually wore green.
None of this is true.
I'm fairly sure the color is not probably
Related.
part of any legend.
Probably not.
and then
Don't
it's just
base a
invented
book
by
report
Hollywood.
on what
Yeah,
we're
we did
saying.
not help you. I'm sorry. But I will say that the hood seemingly was just an idea they were tossing out there, but inevitably when they established Batman Incorporated, where it's like Batman in every country, the hood will be roped into Batman Incorporated and essentially made into a Batman.
So he's part of the family. He's part of the Bat family.
He is as of now, but then
Right now.
he's just a guy that
He's just a
Batman
guy,
is
yeah.
aware exists,
He's a new
and he
character.
can use him.
Yeah.
Because Batman's like, I need information about like where Jack Drake is, and of course where Chandra Kinsolving is, because I need to save my ward's father, who is also a source of constant frustration for me, because you know Jack Drake is a widower and the father of a teenage boy who lost his mother, and his son is constantly hanging out with this billionaire playboy loner who's lost at least one ward of a similar age and build. And so it's kind of suspicious and frustrating. And so Jack Drake is like, hey, don't get too attached to Bruce Wayne. He ain't your dad. I'm your dad. And which makes for fun drama, like kind of Aunt May for Robin Spider-Man. And so it's like, ugh. So, you know, Batman's kind of like dragging his feet about this whole thing. But also, thankfully, he wants to bang the woman that was also kidnapped, and so he has a vested interest in rescuing them. So,
And nothing impresses her more than rescuing the other person that she was with.
exactly, because she's like
Right.
a humanitarian or something. So she'll appreciate
Freaking
my
doctors.
selflessness. But
Batman's walking.
yeah,
It's only been like one issue. He's already
Yeah.
on his feet again.
yeah. But we see him in the Batman suit because this is how Batman convinces Hood to help him out. He's like, I don't know this area. I need your help. Do this for me. Hood wants Batman to respect him. And so he's like, yeah, okay, I'm in. And then when Hood leaves, Batman's like, ugh, like he has a cane and
I
he's
see.
barely walking.
Oh, he's
he-
like attached himself to a pole.
yeah, no, he is messed up.
Right.
And Alfred is like, what are you doing? Like, stop. This can't be good for you.
You have to heal.
And in fact, in 3 different scenarios throughout KnightQuest, Batman goes to doctors who are like, what are you doing?
You're a billionaire. Relax.
Yes! Batman eventually has Hood break into MI5 and steal some documents on this character who they invent for the story. They need information on this character, Benedict Asp. And Benedict Asp is a...
Oh, very dangerous.
Let's you go first. So Asp has this estate, and he has Jack Drake and Chandra in his clutches. We then see what Asp is planning to do with Chandra and Jack. Turns out that Benedict didn't want Jack at all. It was an accident. He also was like, I can use Jack because he is Chandra's like patient. And so she has like the Hippocratic Oath or something. She's protecting him. And so he can like threaten to hurt or kill Jack to strong arm Chandra into doing his bidding. What the hell does Benedict Asp want with this random character who was invented for Batman to have sex with? Well, Chandra Kinsolving was an interesting character until this, because it's a female character of agency, person of color. Invented in like 1994. You're like, wow, how progressive. She has no powers. She has no bullshit history or connectivity to Batman. She's just a doctor, a professional, but also is doomed to failure because all of Batman's relationships are. In fact, Vicky Vale was shoehorned into Batman's like love triangle for a time, mostly during like the rise of Tim Drake as Robin. And inevitably they were like, this is boring and I don't want to write about this anymore. And so Vicky Vale basically says like, you're annoying and boring, Bruce Wayne, and I don't want to be with you anymore. And then just kind of like F's off and hooks up with somebody else.
Right.
Well, then she has to go back to her planet because they need her, and she floats off.
Yep,
off the
just
screen.
whoop. Yeah, and she basically does. Goes into, Nowheresville. But so there's this scenario where Benedict Asp has this huge dude in this labyrinthian dungeon. And he takes his shirt off and he gets out this big knife. And he's like, all right, Chandra, have a seat. Chandra sits across from this hulking dude. The dude whips out this Bowie knife. He proceeds to then start sawing into his own arm. And Chandra's like, what are you doing? And then Benedict Asp goes, now heal him.
What?
So Chandra uses her magic healing powers
Oh no!
Oh, God damn it.
to heal the man's arm,
Thus destroying her character.
completely destroying her character. But don't worry, there's
Why?
still more ground to reach when it comes to destroying this character.
Oh, so that's how we're going to fix Batman.
What? Magic healing powers? Yes.
Where do her powers come from? Wait, they don't explain it?
Why should they?
Oh my god. Why would you introduce powers to a character who never had them and not have an explanation for where they came from?
Right? All they need to do is go, well, no, she became a doctor. They call her a healer after all.
She's not actually skilled at all in medicine.
No, she, well,
She just uses
take
her
away that
magic.
too.
She still has to get a freaking doctorate. She had to go to school.
She went to school. She is a
That's
doctor.
true. That's
but
true.
she was also
But whenever it came to doing the practical part,
Yes.
like she was able to,
she
she
was able
didn't
to
have
use her psychic powers to heal them. She still has training wheels on.
But she doesn't have to know things.
Yes.
You got to pass the written test.
Yes, she did pass the written exam for her doctorate. So Chandra is now roped into this, and Benedict Asp knows her personally. Yet actually, they're like siblings, not direct siblings, but still
Like half siblings or step siblings?
No.
Or like spiritual siblings?
spiritual
Not
siblings.
at all siblings.
Not at all siblings. They were
Oh,
both adopted by the same couple.
Does she have the ability to heal and he has the ability to cause damage?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, but
he has psionic abilities as well.
No! But they're adopted.
Yeah.
So there's no
doesn't
reason
make
for
any
him to have
sense.
powers.
He didn't know he had them until he needed them.
Did they get them from their adoptive parents?
No.
This is just a coincidence?
Yes.
Were they?
Ah!
Did they grow up on like weird ley lines?
It doesn't matter.
It could have
don't
been
explain
anything.
It doesn't matter.
Could have been anything. Like anybody who has powers.
Yeah.
Except many
Why
of
bother?
them have explanations.
They could also
but-
be like, no, it happened in Invasion or something.
Yeah, lots of people got powers.
Yeah. Nope.
They're not
So-
even going to question it or.
Yeah. So there's a whole elaborate ruse that involves Bruce Wayne impersonating a wealthy British aristocrat named Sir Hemingford Grey. And so Sir Hemingford Grey,
It's the worst name I've ever heard.
I know. It's like, well, I'm delirious from
Yeah.
the pain that I'm constantly putting myself under. Sir Hemingford Grey, a.k.a. Bruce Wayne, bullshits his way into the gala party that Benedict Asp is throwing so that he can get into the facility to like search it and find Chandra and by extension Jack. He ends up there. He ends up finding her. He tries to reach out to her, but Chandra is so addled. Maybe Chandra's trying to protect him, but she also doesn't know that Bruce Wayne's Batman and capable of being a master of disguise. So she's just kind of like upset all the time. And so it's hard to tell whether she's losing her mind or she's just really, really upset because eventually she does lose her mind. So it's like, it's hard to really follow.
God.
But inevitably,
No.
I know. Inevitably, what occurs is, why is Benedict Asp causing this giant man to like carve into his arm and have Chandra keep doing it over? It's
Right.
like, why are you doing this to me? It turns out that Benedict Asp has come into possession of a government-built psionic amplification helmet that he now can use. But he knows that he's only powerful enough with the helmet, but he remembers how powerful he could be if he was in conjunction with Chandra's powers. And so Asp facilitates the kidnapping of Chandra from Gotham to England so that he can reconnect with Chandra and then use his powers of destruction. So what does he do?
Aren't they supposed to be like yin and yang and cancel each other out?
No, that's just something that you're ascribing because it would make sense literarily. This is something else.
Right.
This is KnightQuest.
Well, remember, they're adoptive siblings. There's actually no connection between their powers.
Exactly. And so
He just happens to know
Yeah.
about her powers and think that it might help him.
no, he knows it can because they've done this before when they were children.
Oh, when they were children, they did it.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's this
Oh,
amazing
like Escape
moment.
to Witch Mountain, some bullshit.
So there's a moment where he has the helmet on and he's like, now Chandra, heal him! And so she does, and she uses all of her strength and power to heal him while he uses his power and it amplifies his ability and it goes into a neighboring English town and kills everyone in the town, which coincidentally Bruce and Alfred were staying in, but Bruce was being, Lord Fartington III. So he wasn't there, but Bruce thinks Alfred's there, but coincidentally Alfred went for a walk in the woods so he doesn't die in it. But everyone else in this town dies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they kill a town. And that's how Asp...
I'm sorry, did he look at a map and be like, I've just concentrated on just this area?
Yeah, no, he picked the town ahead of time.
Stay in the lines.
Yeah, no, he has... Yes. Because he has to, know the name of it. He's like, I want to kill everyone in this town specifically. Because Benedict wants to kill Bruce Wayne's alter ego.
Oh,
Right?
and
What,
he knows he's
Hemingford
there.
Gray?
Hemingford Gray. But he doesn't know that Hemingford Gray doesn't really exist.
Oh, and that's why his power doesn't work on him.
Yes!
He's giving I'm trying to kill Hemingford Gray. Find Hemingford Gray and kill him.
Right. So then Batman...
I'm sorry, search not found.
Yeah, no. Well, he thinks he's got him, and because Bruce is dressed like him. But Bruce then goes, oh, I'm having a headache, and he's starting to think about being Bruce Wayne, and so the Hemingford Gray doesn't work. And then later,
Because he doesn't think he's Hemingford Gray, so therefore...
But Bruce Wayne
You
knows
can't
he's not Hemingford
psychically
Gray and never
kill
should
him.
have worked in the first place.
But maybe that's just how Batman is such a good master of disguise.
Right.
He creates a personality.
he takes
Oh
it
no,
on.
he's a method actor.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
Right? So because there's a sequence where, because this doesn't end here, is that eventually they all go back to Gotham and then Asp has Hemingford Gray kidnapped. And then he brings Hemingford and he's like, now I'm gonna kill you for real with my stupid helmet. And he's like, yeah. And then Hemingford starts thinking about being Batman, and then that makes the telekinesis killing not work. And he's like, what the crap? And it's like, damn it, what? No wonder this is in another volume.
Is there an actual Hemingford Gray?
Yes, there is well, no. Okay, that's actually an interesting and complicated question because
Yeah.
What?
Because
It's a yes or no question, motherfucker.
Because they refer to him, you know what I mean?
Right.
Batman,
Everyone knows who he is, but he's only been there for a day.
Yeah, and also the psionic killing doesn't find the real Hemingford Gray.
Exactly.
So,
So,
should
if they
if he was
kidnap
real.
a real Hemingford Gray,
Right, but they no.
why is he alive?
But they don't kidnap a real Hemingford Gray. They kidnap Bruce Wayne being Hemingford Gray. But again, we don't actually know if there is a real one that Batman is pretending to be, or if Batman invented Hemingford Gray and used his connections to create such an elaborate backstory that when they checked up on him, they were like, oh yeah, no, that all checks out. There is a Hemingford Gray, even though there isn't.
Just like there's always a Matches Malone.
Right, yes. Nobody needs to but except
Except
Matches
couldn't find
Malone.
Matches Malone because he doesn't have any information.
He's an underworld guy.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna check the fingerprints for Matches Malone. Everyone knows
Yeah.
that's a nom de plume. But Hemingford Gray has land.
He owns stuff.
Yeah, but Bruce Wayne can buy land. That's not a problem.
No, that's
All
true.
you need is a fake
But can he
patent
buy
nobility.
people
true,
remember
that's true.
seeing him at parties?
No,
He can't, so I don't
So
understand.
I'm pretty sure I'm willing to go out on a limb and say Hemingford Gray is a pseudonym that was invented, a whole character invented by Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But then it apps is like, oh, Sir Hemingford Gray, welcome to my party. He's immediately yeah, as opposed to being like,
well, because
wait,
he
what?
doesn't
Who
admit
the
he's
fuck is
never heard
this?
of him.
That's true. Yeah.
He's like, oh, I definitely should have heard of this guy.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Well, he is
fuck,
I
I'll
should have
pretend.
invited this guy, but I guess
Yeah.
I'll let him come. to
Well,
my
he looks
party.
like he belongs. He must be real. He's the real
Exactly.
deal.
So
fuck me for not
Chandra,
knowing.
exactly. So Asp beats the shit out of Jack Drake to punish and force Chandra to go with him so they can leave and go to Gotham together.
Oh, because he wants to destroy Gotham or something, right?
No.
No?
He wants to kill the president.
He's going to kill the president from Gotham?
Yeah. Well, it's on the East Coast. So
Yeah. This is a
Why?
coincidence he picks Gotham. Okay.
well, he wants money. He's a thief. He extorts them. He wants $35 million, something
You
like that.
don't get the money by killing the person. You get it by
Well, no.
threatening to kill the person.
He does. He releases a statement that says You remember that town that got killed in England? That was me. I have special powers. Don't worry about what my name is.
Oh yeah, I'll bet it was you.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm sure
kill-
like 13 other people are doing the exact same thing.
Right, so I'm going to kill the president and also these other specific people so you know it's me and that I'm real, unless you give me some money. And I'm still going to do it, though. And, Batman beats him. But whatever, who cares? So, anyway, Chandra leaves with Asp, and Asp leaves Jack in the basement. So when Batman goes to recover them, he only gets Jack. So
he leaves him behind. I guess he's like, well, I don't need you.
I don't need him anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I proved it worked.
Yes. So, well, now I know I can force Chandra to work for me or whatever. Not really. Chandra's very unwilling in this scenario. So
Yeah, but if she sees someone cutting their own arm, she'd be like, I have to use my powers to heal you.
yeah, I guess they don't even. They're
I'll
past
kill
that point.
myself if you don't heal me.
Exactly. So yeah, Batman recovers Jack. Jack has to go to a hospital, and then eventually he's just released. They just fly him back to Gotham, and then he hooks back up with Tim, which is also at the end of this whole volume of KnightQuest: The Crusade.
I was gonna ask, is this interspersed through this, or is this all at once? How?
This is interspersed throughout this.
Okay.
This is happening while this is happening.
That's even worse, because then it's separated by weeks.
Yes.
To get
get
another
one
issue of
contiguous
this
story.
garbage story.
Which is why it's separated over there. But that's why we're talking about the search all in one chunk.
Right,
But
right.
Hood does good. He helps Batman out. He does though find out that Batman is Sir Hemingford Grey. So he's like, oh man, even though I hate the aristocracy and the 1%, I appreciate what Batman does. So I'll keep his secret that he's actually a wealthy
He's
aristocrat.
actually Hemingford Grey.
Yes.
You're almost there.
Yeah, you're so close, Hood. Only a couple more years of detective work. But so then we just leave Hood on the shelf, and Batman goes back to Gotham, or rather, Bruce goes back to Gotham. So
It's almost like a what-if story. What if Batman was English?
yes, I mean it's basically an Elseworlds book.
Yeah.
So yeah, but also we get to have our cake and eat it too. There's also this scenario where Bruce basically discovers Chandra's backstory and her connection with Benedict Asp, and so he thinks that she is connected to him and is part of it.
She's willingly
Yes. So he vows to bring her to justice too, and
Right.
goes from talking about how he loves her present tense to loved her past tense. In this beautiful sequence where he, as Hemingford Grey, shakes his fist at the night sky and says I will avenge the woman I loved, but not the
my
woman
God.
who exists now, who is going to jail.
Who I
Right.
don't love.
Well, I don't know what she's doing, I'll tell you that. And it's
Yeah.
what?
Who's as soon as we have breakup sex, we are done.
And that's true.
What?
And it's so complicated.
That's after she
and
breaks
awful.
up with Hemingford Grey.
She's not with Hemingford Grey. She doesn't even know he exists. But the breakup sex is so complicated and horrible.
Oh my God! I can't believe that's real. That was a joke I made.
Well, the thing is that it's people would be like, you're reading into it. Well, let's read it. And I'll tell you whether I'm reading into it or not. But
Okay.
trust me, they bone. And it's complicated and problematic.
It sounds
Oh
it.
no!
Oh no, you don't know half of it.
It does it. Is
True.
It, is it violent?
No, it's not like, yo, I love you. No, Batman is not a. Well, I mean, so.
I loved you, so I have to kill you so that you're the dead self in
Yes.
my memory who I can
Right.
have sex with, and then I'll resurrect you
I'll
afterwards.
bang the evil version of you to death. And she's like, I was never evil to begin with. He's like, oh, good, because I can only really last one time. So anyway, throughout that whole story, Bruce Wayne is going to doctors, and the doctor's stop fucking around.
Right.
And Alfred is no! And also he's calling Robin periodically, and Robin is not helping much. Robin is hey, could you find my dad? Oh, also Gotham's going to shit. But he won't say that. He's more I don't want them to get distracted from rescuing my dad. I don't want them to get really
Right.
upset about how Jean-Paul's just shit
Right,
in the
because
bed.
then he might just come back.
Well, and also I might
Without my dad.
they also might fire me. Because I'm kind of the guy who's supposed to be protecting Gotham from Jean-Paul if he fucks up.
Right.
And Jean-Paul literally built a brick wall between my entrance to the Batcave and the Batcave. So I don't know. There's no way I can get in there. A literal brick wall. And I
and that's effective.
yeah, he's just no shit.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
That's solid brick.
That's a brick wall.
I can huff and puff all I want to. It's not going to blow it down. So, but eventually, Bruce Wayne is in Gotham, and you're oh my God, we're so close.
Could we just Cut to the chase.
Please. Alfred essentially is like, you need to stop. Like, we're home now. You need to, like, relax. And he's like, I can't. And if I die in service to my mission, who cares? So Alfred's like, well, then I resign.
Oh.
I'm out.
Oh.
And I'm like, great. So Alfred leaves, and then he goes to Wayne Manor, which, of course, as we all know, is like is in disarray. You know, like their windows are broken, and Jean-Paul's pooping in all the rooms because you know how their plumbing works.
And there's another brick wall for Alfred entrance.
No. He only wants to wall off the areas to keep Robbins and Harold's out. So Alfred ends up at Wayne Manor, and Jean-Paul is like, what the hell are you doing here, old man? Bruce Wayne gave me everything. And it's like, well, first of all, slow your roll here, genius. I don't see your name on the deed. You know what I mean?
Right. He
made
just said
Batman.
you could crash.
He said you could crash here and be Batman. Not that like you could poop in the master bedroom or like allow ne'er-do-well children to throw rocks at the windows, which they do.
I'm just saying, like, if I'm crashing here, I make the rules.
Right. And one rule is get the crap out of here. And so Alfred's like, all right, listen. Bruce is back. He needs you to help him stop Benedict Asp. And just figure this out, like be Batman and solve this problem because like you're Batman now.
Right.
And
there's a Batman.
There's a Batman problem.
yes, and that needs Batman solutions. And so Jean-Paul's like, well, I'm busy. Like no.
Doing what?
Right? Like I'm adding more shit to my costume. But that's all happening, by the way, as this is going on. Like he's already in version 3 of the Azrael Batman suit by the time that the search wraps up. But Alfred then goes into the manor, and Jean-Paul's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm going to clean the manor one last time. No, I wish. No, he gets out a feather duster, and he's like,
but really, though.
No, but literally, I'm going to clean it.
I'm going to scrub toilets and shit.
Yeah, so Alfred cleans Wayne Manor, like right before Batman returns to fight Jean-Paul throughout all of Night's End.
So Alfred doesn't really know it, but he is preparing for Batman's return.
Yes.
In his final act of cleanliness.
Yeah, of servitude.
Which he thinks is his exit from Batman's life, Bruce Wayne's life.
So then
Alfred, that's how butlers quit, is they clean everything.
They clean everything one last time.
One last time, because I love it so much.
Yeah, well,
it's not just a job, you see.
It's a way of life.
Yeah.
So Alfred goes back to England, and eventually Nightwing goes there, and he's like, knock it off. Get back in the book. Azrael's gone.
All right, Azrael's gone. You can come back.
No,
my beef was with Batman, though. I had a falling out with him.
I know. Knock it off.
Well, now he's Batman again, so it's like a different guy.
It's boring if you're not there. It would be stupid if DC left you off the table for this long.
Yeah, they would never do that.
They would never do that.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine if like they killed you, Alfred?
And so you could never come back?
That would
make no sense. You're a key part of the Batman mythos. You are essential
to the mythos. So anyway.
Oh my God.
Inevitably what happens is Chandra, Benedict, and Bruce all go back to Santa Brisa. And I'm like, we started here. Why are we back? For no reason.
So I love something there.
Does he kill the president? What happened to his plan to kill the president?
He threatens to kill the president.
Does he he gets his money?
No, he doesn't get any of those things.
Well, why does he not kill the president?
No, he's thwarted.
Oh. I guess John Paul Valley does stop him?
He tries to stop him, but he's thwarted. No, what happens is Gordon and Robin stop him. Or rather, they stymie him.
I see. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to Santa Brisa.
Yeah. Well, no. Asp gets Bruce in the gray costume. You know,
he's still dressing as British.
He's still doing it. I'm like, you're in Gotham, man. And he even says, like, I think I have one more use for this character, and that's allowing him to be kidnapped by Asp and his goons, and then brought to Santa Brisa along with Chandra. So we find out the whole bloody affair between Asp and Chandra. Turns out that like they were both adopted by like this fundamental Christian father character who used to like beat the hell out of them all the time.
Oh.
And he was especially racist, and so he like delighted in beating on Chandra.
Oh my God.
And eventually Chandra and Asp, in conjunction with their psionic abilities, inadvertently killed their father.
Oh, okay.
But their mother...
Whoa. Chandra didn't do it.
No, she...
Well, yeah.
But Asp knew he could piggyback off her powers to like be able to kill.
Right.
And so he does. Their mother was complacent in all of it and just allowed it to happen. And so when she is being interrogated by Batman characters, she regales them with the whole bloody affair as well. Mm-hmm. But then Asp uses his psionic abilities and Chandra's with his dope helmet to kill her from afar, so then she dies. This is just so we can wipe the floor.
Right, we gotta get rid of all these.
We gotta get rid of all the we need to get rid of all evidence of Chandra Kinsolving. Because we are
Eliminate her whole bloodline.
Oh, we are dropping her like a hot coal.
Because like this is all happening as KnightQuest is ending, and so they're like, the book is tanking. We have to get back to normal, and normal looks like Chandra ain't there, Sean Paul ain't there, Bane ain't there. We need to get everything that's Knightfall the hell out the door, and so we gotta kill everything that makes Chandra a character as part of this story. Even though we literally just invented them for this story. So they go to the Santa
We're also
Prisa.
going to murder her character.
Oh yeah.
Characteristically.
Exactly. Oh yeah. No, metatextually, she's also murdered. So they all go to this like villa, and there's also a horrible storm that is racking the island and like practically destroying the estate. And so basically what happens is Chandra is stressed out enough to have accidentally killed Asp. That's what happens. Like she kills him by accident. And so Asp dies.
Wait. How?
Because
she heals.
Right, yeah, but like
she overheals him so much he reverts
to a baby.
To a baby and then is unborn.
Yeah, no. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what happened. No, it's just that, like, you know, she just hates him so much. She's like, no,
her power turns to the opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
She just grabs a snow globe and just bludgeons him over the head in a moment of anger.
Yeah.
Or does she like have?
Speaking.
Is he trying to kill someone else, and she causes his power to like reflect back on him?
He does want to kill. He's still like, I'm gonna kill the president because I still got my cool like rad helmet.
And then she goes, "But you are the president." And he goes, "No!"
Right?
Does he want to kill her? And she holds up a mirror.
No, it's actually funny because like he finds out that Gray is Bruce Wayne, and how resourceful he is means that he's Batman. So his decision to like, you know, wear makeup as Bruce Wayne was a good idea. So, you know, Asp finds out that Bruce Wayne's Batman, so now he's gotta die because he knows Batman's secret. And he's like,
oh shit, he's gonna come after me.
Right, exactly. No. It's just
I gotta kill him.
He would immediately reveal the secret. But yeah. Oh, and Asp is also using like psychotics, like drugs, to put her in an induced state.
I see.
No, eventually, like eventually they like grapple. And Batman takes out like the Russian guy who's like carving his arm and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Asp tries to kill Bruce. Of course, Bruce is still like, you know, practically paralyzed. He's been in a chair the entire time.
Okay.
Or a cane, but still a chair. And she loves Bruce so much that she uses her abilities on Asp and ends up killing him by accident.
So there's an implication here maybe that she could kill people the whole time.
But she is like,
but she's a good person, so she doesn't. But
that's why she's a doctor.
Too far,
yeah, she's a healer. Yeah,
right. But if you push her,
yes,
she will inadvertently.
She could. She actually is more powerful than Asp is. That's why he wants her in the first place.
I see.
So the Russian goes off into a boat into the middle of like the storm and dies. And
great.
So because he also knows that Bruce Wayne's Batman.
Oh, he doesn't become like that weird dominatrix person.
No, he does not become
Bane. Who's also a Russian KGB.
He does not become the KGB. He's already invented. Chandra, as a result of the trauma that she endured as a child and the repressed memories that were brought up by Asp's intervention and so forth, and the drugs that she was taking, and all of the psionic muckery going about in their brains, regresses her to the mental state of a child. In fact, the age she was when she was like...
when her powers
manifested.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Then, after Asp dies and the Russian disappears, laid out on the ground of this destroyed hacienda by the storm, the narration is as follows. All that long night, the house moaned and shuddered as the storm ravaged the island. As Chandra, as Chandra climbs on top of Bruce Wayne. And in the morning, the sky was clean and new. I filled myself with the sweet air and laughed and walked slowly toward the sea. Bruce Wayne is now completely healed because Chandra just fucked him so hard that he is now able to walk again.
Childlike Chandra.
Yeah, the 8-year-old Chandra Kinsolving. So, like,
And then I cast her body into the ocean.
No, he brings her to like a facility.
Right.
And he like visits her. You know, he's like, he like as Bruce Wayne fully healed, he goes to visit her, and she's like playing with dolls. She's like, oh, hello. And he's like,
Oh no.
I have to leave.
Oh no, were you
like that before? Like, did
Oh, we didn't really talk. Oh no.
what? Which is why they don't talk about like how
Horrible.
Batman got his legs back.
How Batman got his legs back. Yeah, it's actually kind of fucked up.
It's actually
and we're not gonna talk
it's
about
actually
it.
really fucked up, and no one was worth talking about.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, this is fucked up.
And he learns how to talk again, and moving on.
She's like, no, I killed him. But I didn't mean to, any more than I meant to kill my father. I was trying to forgive them, help them, love them.
Well, yeah, she just wants to love them. I don't think she wasn't trying to bang her dad or the brother. Although, if you want to talk about like sexual trauma and like this kind of messed up thing, like maybe like in It,
It's like, I mean, it could be.
right?
I mean,
So
no.
there's a guy who
no,
wrote
I
this
don't
could've
think
read
they
it.
banged.
Yeah, no,
I think they did.
no.
I think they definitely did.
Chandra and Bruce banged, but I don't.
Oh
think,
yeah, no, not her and the
not her and her
brother.
dad. And
No,
brother
I don't
and
think
stuff.
she and Bruce banged.
You don't think so? No. I
No.
think they
All
definitely
right.
do. Well, I wouldn't say
I
the
get
house
it.
moaned and shuddered.
And how?
From the storm.
Right, but she just like laid on him and just like used all of her healing abilities to make him walk again.
Yeah, she healed him so much that she is now regressed into a child.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's horrible.
Is that worse than fucking him so much that she regresses to
Why
a
not
child?
both?
I mean, I don't think that her abilities cause her to shatter her mind and make her a child.
Well, then why does she become a child?
Because of all the shit that she went through just a few seconds ago.
She killed a guy?
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, well, and also she was kidnapped multiple times and injected with all kinds of insane psychotropic drugs and forced to use
Yeah, but
her
she's-
psionic abilities in conjunction with another insane
Still
man.
seems like an adult right up until...
Yeah, up
She
until
doesn't.
here.
Yeah, up until the night...
Well, but there's no explanation.
Right.
There's no explanation whatsoever. So your guess is as good as mine. But in Hush, they say, "Oh, and Chandra Kinsolving was called to help Batman," and Batman says, "But she has the mind of an 8-year-old." And the line is, "She got better." And that's all you ever hear about Chandra Kinsolving.
Don't worry.
Ever again.
She got better.
She got better.
It's not that sad. It's not as sad
As
as
is
it
left.
was when it happened.
Right.
Yeah, this is just her like touching him on the
Yeah, no.
wrist.
She heals him by like going like and like making him healed. The subtext and implication of the descriptors.
Yeah, the way they wrote the text.
and the
there.
way
Yeah.
they position Chandra with Bruce.
The house moaned and shuddered. Was it the house?
Was it the
the
people?
sounds inside the
Right.
house?
Yeah.
Who knows?
All I know is, don't come a knocking if this hacienda is a rockin'. That's how the search ends. Oh, and then like Bruce goes home, you know? It's all kind of wrapped
whew,
up in like a
that was
Robin
nuts.
story, but that's also the end of KnightQuest, is like the last chapter of the search, which is
Right.
also the same exact last chapter of the Crusade.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I mean, if we've done the search and we ended at the same spot, we don't even have to worry about
Talk
this.
about the Crusade.
I mean, I kind of want to know
Like what Azrael
the
was up to
arc
at the time.
that Azrael goes
There is
to.
no arc.
There's no
There's-
arc?
There is no arc. Well, the arc is that. Okay, there is actually technically an arc.
Okay, that's what I want.
Like Jean-Paul Valley Batman wears his awesome Joe Quesada Batman 500 suit, and he will inevitably encounter villains throughout KnightQuest that challenge him and the integrity of his suit to the point where he constantly upgrades and alters the suit to drastically
go harder.
and also drastically drift further away from the visual identity of Batman. So that essentially Jean-Paul goes from being the new Batman to being some kind of a goblin, like a metal, sharp
Right.
goblin. Like
Right.
he's not Batman anymore. He doesn't even look
his
like Batman.
physical visage is reflecting his,
Of his madness and
moral
descent into
transformation from a hero into
an anti-hero.
He's becoming a demon.
Yeah, well, and that's also true. But like, I mean, metaphorically, he doesn't
Right.
actually transform into anything. Even though we've already established, like, we could have magic characters pop out of nowhere, or characters that were long established as not being magic or having any abilities whatsoever, and just
Suddenly-
going, oh no, they always did actually.
Right.
And it's like, so yeah, you could say that like, actually, Jean-Paul Valley was never crazy. He was possessed by a demon that thought it was the Saint Dumas, and it's like, No, you're not going to parallax me here with Jean-Paul. He is just a lunatic asshole.
But we could.
We could always do it. We could always retcon it.
Nothing's safe.
Nothing is safe after parallax.
Are there any iconic villains introduced?
It's so great that you asked that question because it tees me up so well for the introduction of KnightQuest. It bold new direction. Awesome, image-inspired, crazy, dark, sharp razor blades Batman. Whoa! Holy crap! What's gonna be the new villain set up for Azrael Batman to fight?
Yeah, it's got to be insane, right?
Yeah. It's these two cowboys who are twins.
What? Oh yeah, there they are.
There they are.
What?
Like with fringe and everything.
Yes, full-on Roy Rogers cowboys. They are brothers. They're two brothers.
Two brothers.
And it's just, you want to know about these brothers because they have a strong bond. They are twins who were separated at birth, who are coincidentally robbing the same bank and discover that they are secret brothers. And so they decide to team up and rob banks together.
Were they already dressed as cowboys independently when they robbed the bank?
They both had the same idea. The same way that, twins separated at birth married the same, type of woman. And
right.
Get into the
It's
same,
we were
career.
fundamentally cowboys. Like, we were born cowboys.
We were born to know we were.
We shared
meant
everything.
We
shared a
to
womb.
be criminal cowboys.
We shared genetics. We share a preference for the cowboy visage.
Yes. And our predilection for crime.
And we're
Right.
also upset because we grew up without each other, so we couldn't do the classic cowboy and Native American.
No, we're
I can
not
only
gonna
do that. I can only do cowboy
Yeah, we're
part.
both
Right.
cowboys.
It's cowboy versus cowboy.
Yes.
It's cowboys and cowboys. That we played.
So these guys just
What about cowboys and aliens?
that would be stupid. That would be a great trailer. They're the Trigger Twins. They were the Trigger Twins, by the way.
It's not a bad name.
These are the post-crisis version of the Trigger Twins. The Trigger Twins were, of course, invented in the 40s.
Okay, now it all makes sense because that's such a terrible idea.
Terrible
It
idea,
must have
horrible
come in
execution.
the
They're so stupid and boring, and they are.
But it works back then.
You could
that
tell.
makes sense.
Well, yeah, at that time.
Oh yeah, but you could tell Denny O'Neil is just I am doing a thing.
Yep. This is a deep cut.
It's a deep cut, and I'm doing it in this period where it's supposedly the new Batman for a new generation of fans.
Right.
New audience members are falling in love with Azrael Batman. Supposedly, they're not.
That's
by
the
the
plan,
way,
but-
the book is tanking hard sales-wise because the things that were making the book sell were New Robin, the mini story arc, and
Maybe
then,
even the John Paul Valley story arc before he
before
starts
he
to
became
become
Batman. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, Knightfall certainly sold well,
Yeah.
but
Then it's wait, wait. He's not. Batman's not gonna be Batman anymore.
right? What?
What? That's where this was going.
Well, and
He
also,
just, he just loses.
And new Batman is
It
also
goes away?
progressively more unhinged and
I don't think you
boring.
understand. He broke his back.
Yeah.
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 Well, where did you think this was going?
There's no way to heal from that.
Read
ever.
the search.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
The trigger.
I'm sorry. Did you expect that we weren't gonna change everything?
Yeah. What? You never do. Why would you do it now?
We always change everything. It's just then we have a crisis.
Yeah.
And change it kind of
But we
bad.
just did.
Yeah. Don't just hang in there.
hang in there.
Just keep buying it. Just keep buying it.
Just keep buying it.
You'll
No,
be
because
fine.
it's ugly and stupid and it's boring and I hate it. All right, fine.
I'm fine.
We'll wrap it up soon. So, the Trigger Twins are introduced. Batman also abandons the Batmobile because he fucking can't fit in it. But also Harold,
It's too big.
He's too big. But also Harold built a special train car that was a Batmobile that connected with the subway. It was just it was Mark 15 of Batmobile projects that just didn't get off the ground. And so Jean-Paul
uses
kind of
that.
wraps it up. And so now he's I can get into the city faster than the Batmobile ever did.
Right, I don't
and
have to
can
fight
go-
traffic.
Right, and so, but he does because the first thing he does in the train car is almost smash into the subway. And so he
Oh, what are these friggin' other trains doing here? This is my track.
What? And so that's a cliffhanger in one of the issues. It's oh my god, I'm going
almost
to
hit by
smash
a
into a
train.
passenger car. And so he heroically finds out that the car he's facing their direction. It can rotate the cockpit, and he can face the other way, and the train can go in the other direction. So he catches the other train on fire, but he doesn't crash into it. So he goes in the other direction, and then he never runs into that problem again. And now,
Well, then he looks at train schedules and he like times his departures to avoid the train.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I probably should have thought about that.
Oh, and also now his father, the former Azrael, will appear before him as a ghost, or rather as like a
that's a new
schizophrenic vision,
Right.
and tell him that he's like a pretender. And sometimes it's his father, and other times it's Saint Dumas.
Right, that's Saint Dumas there.
Yeah, Saint Dumas appears before him, and he's like, "You are defying the sanctity of your God-given visage. You were supposed to be Azrael.
Yeah, this
killing
ain't
avenger.
Azrael. You're
Batman.
I don't know what this is.
Right? Yeah, it's like thou shalt not have worship other gods before me. You know, that kind of thing. And he's like, "Oh, Saint Dumas, I'm sorry, but I am the Batman. I'm trying." And I'm like, "How relatable."
Well, we have to see how he descends from the kind of decent anti-hero to a totally unrelatable bad guy who Batman has to
punch.
Beat the shit out of at the end.
Exactly. Incidentally, this is kind of spoilers for Knight's End.
Yeah, well, we know how it ends.
But Batman does defeat Jean-Paul without throwing a single punch.
Right, that's right.
But anyway,
not any physical punches anyway.
Yeah, emotional ones, big time. Gut punches, uppercuts, it's horrible. But then, so the story just rolls on. He fights characters like the Tally Man, who just is a mess. I'm not even going to get into it. But, you know, the Trigger Twins, those guys show up more than the Tally Man.
This is so Image right here.
Oh, yeah, no, it's unhinged.
Yeah, look at him. Look at all that stuff happening on that page.
Yeah.
Look at it all.
But there's a great sequence, actually, where like, oh my God, I just saw like Saint Dumas or something. I need to figure this out. And so while Batman, Jean-Paul, is doing his recon thing, he discovers this company that makes sensory deprivation tanks. And so he breaks into a warehouse.
I could probably go in one of those.
So he jumps in one of those. And
yeah, you're having visions. You should probably jump in a sensory deprivation tank.
I've heard they're transcendental, and I can like, you know, really jerk off in there. And so
you'll have the best orgasms in your life.
And so he breaks into like a warehouse of them, and then takes off all of his clothes, like all of his Batman armor, like clang, and then gets into one. And he's just like, and he goes on a complete vision quest. Meanwhile, goons go in there, see his Batman costume, and go like, I think Batman's jerking off in one of these sensory deprivation tanks. Let's just kill him. So they shoot the tank, but it's it was a dummy tank that Jean-Paul set up just in case someone was gonna ruin his good time. So he pops out of the other tank and beats the crap out of them. And I'm like, what is up with this tank thing? And I love that like we've done 2 Batman stories that have sensory deprivation tanks in them. And with Jean-Paul, it's like, yeah, this dude's definitely jerking off in this tank.
What does he see? He sees Saint Dumas, I assume, who just tells him even more forcefully what a jackass he is?
Yeah, more or less. I mean,
instead of just seeing him before him, he's like, oh, now I'm in a castle. There's all this stuff.
It also, what it does is that actually is a convenient narrative device so that readers who are like, what is this? I didn't read Sword of Azrael.
All the backstory.
Because Sword of Azrael came out as its own separate prestige-bound independent miniseries. It wasn't a Batman book. So like people like me missed it. Like I didn't actually get to buy Sword of Azrael because of course while Knightfall was going on, Sword of Azrael became a coveted, hard to get book. And so only people that I knew who owned it could let me read it. Like the only way that I could read it is by like reading my friends' copies.
Yeah, oh my God. What a terrible idea.
The place is called Gotham New Age Supplies.
Well, yeah.
That's where you get your sensory deprivation. Right? Yeah. The New Age Supply.
The New Age Supply store.
That's the company that's providing
the hippie store.
Yeah, that's what they should have called it.
That's right.
Except it was the 90s, so they called it New Age.
Exactly. So,
the
Batman...
hippy-dippy bullshit store.
Yes. So Batman fights all kinds of characters.
Oh, like Cobra Commander.
That's Mekros.
Oh, okay.
And we talked about Mekros actually in another show of The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, but I really don't want to get into Mekros. Suffice it to say, he is a mob enforcer in an Iron Man suit who eventually is defeated. Just like the Trigger Twins, who pervasively show up in this series. Like, I was like, we're not going to get all these cowboys every week, are we? And sure enough, they do. Inevitably,
well, they're the main bad guys.
But what's great is
they're the through line.
Eventually, they do because they do train robberies, and they work for like one facilitator of crime, and then they like go to take out another guy, but then he pays them more, and so like that's how you show like what mercenaries they are.
Right.
And so eventually, they bump into Batman. Jean-Paul Valley, who's like masturbating in sensory deprivation tanks, wearing like knives for fingers. And so they're like, hold it right there, partner. And he's like, ah!
Tell me he tears them apart.
He does. He doesn't kill them, but like he beats the shit out of them. And he also says things like, I'm the new sheriff of these parts. And I'm like, Don't do that.
No,
you're already a raving psycho. But eventually,
that's my thing. I want people to fear me, not fear me the way they feared Batman. Fear me like they think I'm like gonna lose it.
Yes. So he
because I do.
So
because I am.
But like of course that's the conclusion to the Trigger Twins is that sharp Batman puts them in the hospital and they never come back.
Well, it's hard to be a trigger person when you don't have any fingers.
Yeah.
Right.
Now they
Or when
do
your
come
fingers are
back, but
shattered
like
in 20
not in
places.
Knightfall. Like
Right,
we don't have to
right.
worry about them ever again. Thank God.
Right. That's what he does. He
yeah.
puts them away. You don't have to worry about them again.
Yeah.
You're not gonna hear from them for a while.
No. The Joker comes back. And you're like, yes. Yes!
He's gonna tear this guy into
Yes!
asshole.
Joker has a harebrained scheme. Joker wants to make a movie. And the movie's called The Death of Batman. And it's also going to be homaging movies that Denny O'Neil remembers as a child. So instead of them being contemporary and, referential, they're Casablanca, they're Treasure of Sierra Madre, just classic old school references that everybody who's reading Batman at this time would appreciate. And Joker, chief among them. So Joker ends up kidnapping Hollywood producers and directors and then strong-arming them into getting money to make his movie. And so, and by the way, the producer who Joker's working with and kidnapping is like the wheeler and dealer from Die Hard. And so he's like, I got this. Like, first of all, we're gonna make $1 trillion off these movies because, Joker is like, you can't buy this kind of publicity. And meanwhile, everyone else is like, yeah, he just murdered a guy over there and we're in like a prison cell. And
Joker,
he's like, no, it's
Booby,
fine.
baby.
Booby, yes. If you are quoting verbatim this book, yes. Joker, Booby, yes. Like Joker's like, we're gonna need another $10 million. And he's like, Bubbala, we're not gonna get $10 million. They haven't seen the dailies. And he's like, and he points a gun in his face. He's like, I can procure $5 million. And he's like, there we go. And that whole plot is that there is this like woman who was kidnapped and threatened and put in danger, and Jean-Paul Batman saves her, and then she is constantly put in peril by Joker. Like, he puts her in a Robin suit and pushes her out a co-ed window, and Batman saves her, and then they put her into like a Harry Houdini-esque escape plot, and Batman saves her from that, and after he does, she's like, you idiot, you were supposed to die. I am like a ruthless, cutthroat Hollywood starlet, or would-be Hollywood starlet. I was told that you would die and I'd get my big break, and I'm not doing that, so see you later. And she just leaves, and Batman's like, what? And eventually, Batman...
But that doesn't make any sense.
That's insane. So Batman finds Joker, and eventually he like fights Joker, and Joker's like, I can't beat like a Swiss Army Batman. Like, you are sharp everywhere. If you punch me, I'm gonna die. So here's what we're gonna do.
I can't punch you, I'll just hurt my
I'll
fist.
hurt my hand. So here's what we're gonna do. I give up. And then Jean-Paul breaks both of his arms and then puts him into a state of like drooling madness. And then the police show up and they're like, what the fuck?
What happened to Joker?
Yeah, and then Joker then is put onto a gurney, sent into an ambulance, they drive away, and he Hannibal Lecters them. He gets up, he kicks them in the face because he can't use his arm, and then escapes. And you're like, good. Also, Joker is like, you're not Batman, you friggin' loser.
I don't care about beating you.
Well, no.
Batman wouldn't break my arm.
He's like, no, it's before that. No,
Oh,
he's
I
like,
see.
he watched him in action, he's like, this guy sucks. I'm going to beat him, though. Like, I have to beat this guy. I'm already committed.
Right.
But
I already borrowed the money.
yeah, I'm already wearing the beret.
Well, also I'm the Joker. I'm not gonna not beat this
Loser. This
like
is
do-gooder.
pretender.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And it doesn't matter who he is. I would beat him up even if he had nothing to do with Batman.
that's true.
He's here to stop me. I'm gonna beat the shit out of
Well,
him.
especially because like we haven't really established like the totemic relationship between them. We have, but selectively. Like, he killed Robin, but also he killed him like because it was kind of fun. And not because he's like, I'm adding to the mythology of Batman.
Right.
And I'm also 1,000 years old. Like, no. None of that.
He did it because he's a Batman villain, and it was a Batman book. And
This week it's
Robin
about
was
me.
There. Yeah.
Yes, and that's what happens in this one, where he's like, I'm gonna be, but maybe, and I'm actually willing to give this book a little bit of credit, like maybe this is what tips it off.
Oh.
He's like, so I was like, oh, another guy, great, I'll beat him, and like, it didn't feel the same. Now I need to stop. You're not my Batman. Like, I'm willing to give this book a little bit where maybe this is what sets Joker off on being like, no, It's you and me forever, baby. Don't pretend. Don't put Nightwing in the suit.
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
Don't leave town and have me fight Robin like in Robin 2 Joker's Wild. It's you and me, and if you quit, I am gonna lose it.
Because I already did this once.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it.
Yeah, I fought another Batman, and it was beneath me. I'm kind of like, I like that. He never says that. It's all ascribed. But Joker does switch. At some point or another, Joker is more interesting as a villain or more totemic.
Well, now his elbows are double jointed.
Well, that's true. He can be, he's like, whoa! He can get out of handcuffs more easily. But yeah, that's a Joker story. There's a Catwoman story where Catwoman is working with these eco-terrorists, and they have one chemical, and they need to combine with another chemical, and Catwoman's gonna steal the chemical, and the cops are like, that chemical is got nerve gas, it's gonna kill people, and Batman's like, I didn't know Catwoman was so hot. Oh my God, I never had an erection before. And so he's like chasing after
Saint
her.
Dumas, what do I do?
Yeah, it's just like, just tap that, my son. And like, he is like trying to get with her, and she's like, you're gross and weird.
You are not Batman.
And in all the Batman books, she's like, first of all, you ain't Batman. Secondly, I don't like you. And third, fuck off. In the Catwoman book, she's like, morale. I kind of like this new Batman. And I'm like, no, you don't.
What, you wouldn't, though.
You wouldn't, and you don't, and you never will. And this is stupid, and I don't agree. But throughout that whole
Fly on
that,
this.
I like that this book got that right.
yeah,
And the Catwoman book was like, I need to sell comics.
Yes, and it's also in this though, so it's like she is just 180ing.
Yep.
But yeah,
That
but
sucks.
I love Jean Paul being like, boy, yoing. Like I don't know what to do. Like, he's freaking out. He's like, oh!
Is there a sensory deprivation tank anywhere?
How creepy does it get? Is like Saint Dumas like, my
No,
son,
Saint Dumas
she's
isn't
a
even-
criminal, then you
She's a
must.
harlot.
Yes.
Don't put your dick in there. No. He's not. He's not
It's like torn. It's like, but she's a bad guy, but I want to fuck her.
No. He's just like, I want to bang her, and she's like, you're talking out loud.
I can hear the things you're saying.
But also,
Hey, this is a private conversation between me and my saint.
You have one of those
My
like
ghost.
disorders where like everything that's like going through your head, you just have to say. Is that what's happening?
kind of, but only because I'm in a comic book and we all do that. But also, there's also this weird plot where like he gets near her, and she's like, "You're not Batman." He's like, "How could you tell?" And she's like, "Well, it isn't because of the tiny erection that's pressed up against my thigh." No, she's like, because Batman gives off a pheromone that I can smell. I can smell Batman and his raw sexuality, and I can identify him by scent, like a cat. But you give off no scent whatsoever. You're like a robot or something. Like, you are completely asexual. And he's like, I beg to differ. Clang.
Interesting.
Because my erection's hitting the metal armor. But like, it's just,
Please tell me he doesn't say that.
no. He's just
thank
like,
God.
no, she's just like, you give off nothing. You're like sterile. Like, you're like you're like a robot or something. And he's like, well, let's proceed. So then they team up, they fight each other. It's just nonsense. Eventually, Batman talks to Commissioner Gordon. There's actually a lot of sequences where Jean Paul talks to Commissioner Gordon, and Gordon is like, you are a disaster. Also, the mayor, who of course was kidnapped by Joker and Scarecrow in Knightfall, is all about Batman now.
Oh yeah.
And he has a problem with the criminals because they kidnapped him in his house. But
Right.
here's the thing. He's all about Batman, but it's the wrong Batman. So he's like, I am 100% like blank check for Batman, but it's the worst Batman to be behind. So he's
But
like,
I don't know that.
But I don't know that because I'm the dumbass mayor. And so, Gordon has to like wrap up this whole problem, or it's his ass. The mayor is constantly like riding Gordon, and Gordon is like, nah. And there's a subplot where like Gordon's wife Sarah, who hates Batman normally, is kidnapped, and Jean Paul saves her, but that doesn't save anything because Jean Paul eventually does commit the one cardinal sin you don't do as Batman, which makes him the bad guy of the book, which also is robbed of any authenticity because of how it is portrayed. When it's referred to after the fact or by anyone else, Jean Paul kills someone, crosses the line.
Cross that line.
In the book itself, he doesn't really kill anybody.
Oh.
He's freaking out, and he's torn between what he should do, save him or kill him, and while he's wrestling with the decision, the character dies.
Ah.
So
What caused the character to be in peril in the first place? Were they like
Right.
dangling off of something?
They were
Or did
dangling.
like, stab them so much as like, oh.
Should I take them to the hospital?
Should I
or-
take them to the hospital or stop the bleeding?
Yeah, no.
Oh, they're dead.
No.
Well, it wasn't me.
No, he's dangling. He's dangling
So-
over liquid hot steel.
Ooh, well, that's pretty
Oh.
gruesome.
Oh, no, it is.
So, but as far as anyone else knows, it was just an accident that Batman just couldn't save him.
Except that Robin is there.
And
he's-
Robin just tells everybody.
Yes, he narcs on him big time. But also, like as far as Robin doesn't see the aliens in his head, so he just sees him like allow
like, standing
Abattoir to
there,
be in the
yeah.
situation, and then just lets him fall into the steel.
He sees him like standing there for like 30 seconds.
Yes!
While the guy is just like, help.
Splash, and then he goes "Arr!" and leaves. So as far as Robin's concerned, he's like, he killed that guy,
I mean,
which he does.
yeah, because he easily could have saved him and
Yes.
chose not to.
But then
so.
he
Well,
kind of
didn't
doubles
choose
down on
not
it.
to, but-
Like he goes to Gordon, and Gordon's like, "You killed Abattoir. Who gives a shit?"
Yeah.
But you killed Abattoir. And he's like, "Yeah, and maybe that was a good idea." Like he doesn't say.
he just owns it.
He doesn't necessarily own it. Like he half-asses it. He's
Right.
like, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe I should. And Gordon, like everyone else in the book, like, puts words in his mouth. And Gordon's like, "You mean to tell me you'll kill again?"
And he's like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know, because I don't even know if I killed that guy.
Yes. And Gordon's like, "Ah!"
I can't take that.
And at
I
that
don't
point,
know.
Gordon shatters the bat signal, and with it, his own confidence in Batman at all.
That would never happen.
No.
Gordon would never shatter the bat signal because Batman killed one guy who deserved it.
Except,
No,
no, it's
no,
the death by the
he would.
thousand cuts because Gordon's been putting up with a lot of
Right,
shit.
it's like the end of a whole
Like, all right.
thing. Right.
That's enough.
You're not Batman. Like,
This is the last straw. Like, first of all,
that's the idea that like, all right, you can't be Batman because you crossed that one line.
well, it's like you can't be Batman for a litany of reasons.
Yeah.
And the last of which is you also killed a guy, which means now you're just some psycho. Like you're not even my friend. You're just some psycho who's losing it. I have to arrest you. And what's great is that won't even be paid off until No Man's Land, where one day Gordon just yells at Batman and goes like, "Why did you just leave? Like, why did you put a psycho in charge?" And it's basically a condemnation of the entire event.
Right.
But
How
like,
could you think that was a good idea?
yes, like, and like that is like that's why I'm mad at you and I don't like endorse you anymore. Is because actually
Right.
you making that fatal decision is like kind of like taking the blinders off of me and making me realize like you're dangerous.
You've done a lot of really questionable shit.
Yeah, and like this is actually a stupid idea for me as a commissioner of police to
Right.
allow you and facilitate you.
Yeah. You know that guy killed someone.
Right.
Well, you were gone.
Right. Well, he killed people
And
he, like,
almost ruined the whole thing.
he fired like shurikens shaped like bats out of his wrist-mounted gauntlets that shot pneumatic, like
yeah.
he shot weapons at people into their bodies. Like, what the fuck are you
I
doing?
don't know. I throw batarangs. I don't know.
Yeah, but not as hard as like a gun. So
Yeah.
it's just
I
a
don't
mess.
know. It's very situational, right?
Yes.
Because it's like if Batman killed the Joker after the Joker like murdered
Gordon
1,000
would
people,
buy him a steak.
right? But you kill Abattoir, oh, suddenly it's crossing the
No,
line.
and here's why it's such a problem. Because Abattoir also like first of all he was a child attacker / kidnapper, and he kidnapped a like innocent person and put them into like a Crucible-esque elaborate death trap where the man is strapped to a table and after every like hour or so more weight is added to his chest. And so because Batman killed Abattoir, no one got the location of this innocent person. And so as a result, he dies.
Yeah, but no one knows where he is or can find the body.
Right, but like he starts to smell and they find it. But but now because of Jean-Paul Batman's actions, 2 people died. A bad man and an innocent man. It's like
Right.
this is also why Batman is effective because when he doesn't kill people, he gets information he needs.
Right.
Yeah, but at the same time, Batman never stops the Joker permanently, and Joker kills
Yeah,
thousands
but we're not
of people.
talking about killing the Joker, we're
but
talking about killing
these
Abattoir.
are and these are people who like he should have been able to save that person.
Yes.
and he didn't. Usually, the people the Joker kills, like Batman,
Or
could
they're
not
dead already.
realistically have saved them.
Yeah, no.
Except by having had precognition that it would happen and having murdered the Joker preemptively.
Yes.
But that's a preemptive strike.
Yeah.
That's a little different.
Although it's like, at what point
Yeah.
do you kill the Joker? It's like he's
How many
killed
people-
thousands before
How
that.
many times does he have to kill someone to escape before you
Yeah.
can reasonably assume that
He'll
if
do it
you
again.
kill him, you will be saving thousands of lives?
Exactly.
Like we kind of crossed that point.
Yeah, no. At this point, we're kind of off to.
But it's comic books, so You know, it's like...
And the point is that that can never happen because then he would cease to be Batman.
That's true. Yeah, he would stop being Batman as a result.
Yeah.
But that's only if it was Bruce Wayne, which of course he
these
is.
books have to keep getting written, so it's like, no one would escape that many times. But like, I need the Joker to keep escaping because... Like I need
He's
to
the most
write more
iconic villain.
books, right?
Yeah.
And he's got to do something really bad because like he's the Joker. So
he's
it's
the
like,
Joker. He's not going to start robbing banks.
right? And I also can't have Batman kill him, so like I have to make it like insane.
Yeah.
Like the nature of the comic running for so long, and the Joker.
Jesus Christ, what happened to Saint Dumas right there?
He's like, I'm coming apart because of your lack of faith in me.
It's
I'm
like
Ghost Ridering.
a manifestation of his own like inner psyche dissolving.
Yes. Well, because like the Batman is actually like a demon because the Saint Dumas, like, and Azrael identities are like, you know, steeped in Judeo-Christian mythology, and so like they're like almost magical protectors, and so you know, you worshiping this bat identity totem suggests that like it's actually it's not only like
It's blasphemy.
it's blasphemous.
Right.
Yeah, it's replacing God.
Right.
Yeah.
This is your idol now.
And that's what this is. And it's like, what? I'm not here for that. Which is why sales are not going well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm guessing
Meanwhile-
the audience didn't really get it.
Well, they got it all right. They're just like, but I don't want to be reminded of it every effing week. You do that in like a 6-part epic, and then you end it.
Yeah, it's like
you
a
don't do it in like
miniseries.
in 2 freaking omnibuses.
It's not new status quo for Batman.
No,
That's
just a point to make.
yeah.
But,
But every comic is someone's first comic.
that's a Stan Lee said. That's a Marvel comic. This is DC.
Yeah, we don't believe in that shit.
If you don't know what's going on, get fucked.
Go fuck yourself. Go buy this book that's fucking not possible to find.
Impenetrable. Yeah, and also
It wasn't in main.
Oh, you want the
Batman
history? Start at the
comics.
beginning.
Yeah, buy a trade paperback, which are new now, and also in short supply, but also are supposed to be like disposable and garbage. There's a character in here, the Corrosive Man. Who cares? There's another story where Mr.
He looks
Freeze
pretty cool though.
is brought back.
Oh no, Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Who's this guy with the fucking flag on his chest?
That is Joe Public.
Joe Public?
Joe Public is a new blood from Bloodline.
That's not Judge Dredd.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because Bloodlines is happening while this is happening.
Oh my god.
So, you know, watch out for Joe Public. He's not even the only one. There's another new blood at the end of this, Berserk, who's like a merc.
I don't remember him.
It doesn't matter. There's like 30 of them.
Berserk the Merc.
Yep.
Oh man.
There he is.
Oh, that's him?
Yep.
With the chin horns?
Yeah. Well, he was originally bitten by an alien, which gave him his powers.
Right.
See?
Oh yeah, there it's happening. That's right. They sucked out his spinal fluid.
Yeah, they bit his spine.
Christ.
So, you know, eventually Batman gets like, you know, he gets a stupid helmet and he changes his outfit. And the other thing is his suit is manifesting so much that like the Bat logo is starting to like be pushed off. Like eventually he's just like, it's like the dueling personalities are like incepting him to become an Azrael again. I mean, eventually he's going to drop the blue entirely and go red.
Right. That's when you know it's over.
Yes.
You're not Batman anymore.
No. So the whole thing kind of wraps up with a Robin issue because Robin also gets a new series out of this. And it's just an ongoing book that is the ongoing adventures of Tim Drake and like his story. Batman also fights Clayface and Lady Clayface. They have a baby. That's what matters.
Oh,
Lady
thank God. I thought he was
Clayface.
just fighting an actual
Yeah,
demon.
no, we talk about Lady Clayface in the Mud Pack story of
Yep.
Agatha. You weren't on that one. It was Tiffany and Ben. But trust me, it sucked. So what matters is Batman fights multiple Clayfaces, and they have a Clayface baby.
I still don't forgive you for that one.
Well, that's fair.
In case you weren't aware, Clayface can reproduce.
Only with other Clayfaces. And not the one you're thinking of. Or maybe it is. Because it is Basil Carlo, but not that one.
All right, who's this guy?
That's Clayface.
Oh, that's Clayface. Oh,
Yeah, you're still in the Clayface arc.
Oh, why isn't he brown?
Oh, there it is. There's Clay Baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
it's
Thanks
really
for that.
stupid. Oh,
That-
there he is with an umbilical cord.
That's right.
Having come out.
Yeah, and Baby Clayface is also connected to the Abattoir plot. Because they're like, we can't just have Batman like fight Abattoir and throw him into Zamoth and Steel. So like Abattoir is like the antagonist of the arc that also is broken up with Clayface characters. Whatever.
This Clayface issue. This is hard to look at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very gross.
It
I
is.
don't like it.
I know.
I didn't realize Clayface was pink, and he's got like a helmet thing.
Yep.
What the hell is this?
That's proto-Clayface. Listen, a lot of characters that have iconic looks owe them to the animated series, like Mr. Freeze and Clayface.
Yeah, because they worked.
Yeah. Or they didn't work in the comic book, but the cartoon was like, I can distill that.
Yeah,
can
that's
make
just
that
it. The
work.
cartoon is just like, I can do it.
I got
it.
22 minutes? Can do it.
Who's this lady? Who are these people?
That's Gunhawk and Bunny.
Gunhawk and Bunny.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a gun.
Are they heroes or villains?
They are villains.
Okay.
They're like...
Are they like?
Yeah, they're villains.
Are they bizarre, anti-rich, Robin Hood-esque characters, but they're also thieves?
No.
Are
No,
they
they're
like
gun nuts.
mercenaries?
You know what it is? They saw Pulp Fiction recently.
Oh.
So they're Pumpkin and Honey Bunny.
Right.
That's why he calls her Honey Bunny and her nickname is Bunny. And he's Gunhawk because we can't make him a pumpkin-themed villain.
Right.
So Gunhawk is a gun nut. You know, he wants a rare, epic gun that they only made one of in Gotham after they pull off another heist. And she
Right.
gets shot. I thought it was by like Batman's razor bats, but it was actually by a bullet. And so Gunhawk flees with her and brings her to the hospital, and then Batman beats the living shit out of her. Or him, rather.
Oh, him, yeah. Sweet.
Yeah. Also, like, do you like Gunhawk and Bunny? Because, like, we could bring them back. No? Cool.
Nope.
Got it.
Get him the fuck out of here.
So anyway, it all wraps up. You know, Batman's killed Abattoir. Bruce Wayne is healed as a result of the search.
Right.
And so Bruce Wayne is back, and he's chatting it up with Tim. Jack Drake is healed, and he's on his way home. Not, like, healed so he can walk, just from his wounds that he suffered from that other guy. And
Oh, it's
so,
a shame he never met What's-Her-Face. She didn't heal him.
No, she didn't. What the hell? Well, she didn't have sex with him. But technically, neither did Batman. At least according to the editors. Robin ends up, like, bringing Batman up to speed. Because, like, Bruce is back, right? And he's like, so Robin, here's my thing. Because, like, Bruce and Tim, like, go out to get lunch as they're waiting for Jack's plane to land. And he's like, so here's what I'm thinking, Dick. So here's what I'm thinking, Tim. Sorry. Freudian slip. I don't mean to belittle you. Sorry, Jason. What am I talking about? Son. So Batman's talking to Tim Drake, and he's like, so here's what I'm thinking. I haven't heard anything about how bad things are going in Gotham, so I'm assuming things are awesome.
Yeah,
so
it was fine.
I think I'm done. Like, I'm healed, and now, you know, I had sex recently. I'm feeling like I
I
want to
think I'm going to
again.
do that more again.
Yeah.
You've
so-
done that before? It's pretty awesome.
I'm 15. So that's a no?
So, yes, no.
It's the 90s, so it's like he's not a Gen Zer, so it's not like, what? Gross! So basically Batman's like, yeah, I'm thinking like, I'm gonna retire. It's going great. I'm gonna get laid all the time.
And like, you know, having my back broken really gave me some perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I want to live my life.
You know?
Yes!
It's like crazy that I was doing that.
Literally that. And then Tim goes, okay. Actually, I need you to be Batman like yesterday. Because it's going really bad. It is a disaster.
The wheels are kind of coming off, and I'm losing control of the situation.
Big time. And then Jack arrives and like, never mind, we'll table this conversation for later. And
That should have been a moment where Bruce is like, huh, all right, well, I'm going to leave Gotham, and this ain't my problem anymore.
yeah. And you weren't gonna come with me or whatever, but like otherwise, no. So yeah, like, but like they're really laying it on thick. That's what this book is, where he's just like, I suppose this is the last time we'll be hitching a ride with Bruce Wayne, son. Now that you have a license, you can drive me around. Since you have nothing going on.
Oh no. Oh no.
Tim's like,
This is gonna be a problem.
oh Jesus Christ! It would have been better if he died. So then they go back to Wayne Manor, and
Oh
Bruce
no, I
is-
accidentally ran over my dad in his wheelchair. Stupid license.
You shouldn't have friggin' yeah. Anyway, so they go to Wayne Manor, and Bruce is just like, he pooped in my bed, and he broke all my windows, and he killed Abattoir. Like, I thought you were in charge here.
I thought you had this.
And I'm like, how dare you? He's a 15-year-old boy.
Son of a bitch.
He's been robbing for like 2 years.
I wish it was just, he pooped in my bed, he has to go.
my dad burned the building.
This son of a bitch is gone.
And by the way, like, he didn't really poop in the bed. It's just like the Wayne Manor
Right.
is in such disarray.
Metaphorically.
I assume that he did. Like,
Right.
because
He
it's
might
like
as
this
well.
guy is just like, "Ah!" He's always like, he's like, oh, take too much. Like, you never see him like eat anything or like brush his teeth. So I assume he just smells and he like just shits where he stands. But
I mean, we don't see Batman brush his teeth, but we know he does.
yeah, no, it's true. But yeah, he's just like, so anyway, he's just like, oh,
right,
I'll give you a hard time when this is over, when it's less dire. All right, you say you sealed the cave. Show me the seal. So he just gets sledges and they just break into the cave.
It's like, you couldn't have done this?
See how easy this was? The hell's the matter with you? They go into the cave. Batman's like, the car is still here, but he's not home. How is he like getting around? Mm-hmm. And Tim just goes, he doesn't use the car. I don't know what he's doing.
He doesn't use the car. Oh my god.
Well, like, what? But like there is.
What does he use?
Yeah. So like then he arrives. Just behold. And I love Jean-Paul in phase 2 of his 3-phase insanity plan in front of real Batman, just being like, you tripped the alarms. What are you doing here? And Bruce Wayne just being like,
this is my house.
just like he goes, look at you.
Look at you.
You've become a monster.
You look ridiculous.
You look ridiculous.
Take off that ridiculous outfit.
He's And what's funny is like, we see like the Jason Todd memorial is still shattered. Like Jean-Paul didn't clean up from Knightfall. Like,
right. It's like he never left.
Like Bruce's blood is just coagulating on the floor from before. It's like, what the crap? And he's like,
well, this ain't my stuff.
You all right. Whatever this whole thing is,
oh, you're done.
It's over.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, maybe I should have killed more people. Like, what about Joker or Catwoman or something? Like, maybe they all deserve to die. And Bruce's like, okay. All right. Well,
Catwoman deserves to die. Okay.
I didn't want to have to kick your ass, but I'm going to.
Now I'm going to kick your ass.
So he goes to kick his ass, and his fist is caught by Azrael, and Azrael throws him into a computer.
Yeah.
And he leaves. He's like, oh, don't try to stop me. No, I'll kick your ass. And he just runs away. He takes the Batmobile.
It's like, oh no.
He crams himself into the Batmobile.
Oh no, he's going to take my things.
No. So then he drives away. And you can see this is serious because Bruce's head gets like cut.
Oh no, he's bleeding.
And so Robin hops into the Redbird, which is a previously established but not oft used Robin-mobile that Bruce set up. Mm-hmm. Because Robin is 15, but he has a provisional license because his father is disabled, and so as a result, like, he is given a provisional license to drive his father around. But because he technically has a driver's license, Batman's like, well, then that technically means that you can drive your own Robin-mobile. And so we see that Robin has the Redbird.
I love that we have to have, like, legal reasons why you're allowed to do this.
Well, we don't want
so that Batman can't be like, I mean, 15-year-olds shouldn't drive, though.
Yeah, no, we
unless you're Robin.
We don't want children being like, well, Robin drives a car without a license. I guess I can too. And it's like, no. He has a license.
Special
he is
legal
trained to drive.
Distinction that he has that you do not have.
Yes, reader. So Robin tries to run Batman off the road. He fails, and then inevitably almost dies.
I understand. How do you fit in the car?
I know. He just does magically. We don't really see the inside of the cockpit.
He should be like,
he's probably just like, oh no, god damn it. Yeah. So he goes back to the garage. Batman's like, you get that out of your system. He still has the blood on his head. Now it could be that like maybe he sprung a leak and he's constantly bleeding, but I like to think that he just doesn't clean it off because he's just so driven.
Yeah.
But he's like,
yeah, my platelet count is pretty low, so I can't really call it right now.
So
it was actually jam from a sandwich that Alfred left down here.
Yeah. So Robin is like, what are we gonna do? And Batman's like, I'm not Batman. Like,
I don't know.
He
what
kicked
are you
my
gonna
ass. Yeah. Well, he's like, I don't have the muscle memory anymore to be Batman. And even though we did a whole arc about me getting healed,
right?
I still don't know how to kick ass and be Batman.
I'm sorry. I don't have the muscle memory?
Yeah, the thing that you actually can't forget.
Wasn't he kicking ass and taking names in a wheelchair?
The chair did most of the work.
It was technologically kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing like karate moves.
No, he was.
Oh, he was doing.
Like people hit a polo ball at him and he immediately caught it like he was Daredevil. He was using his cane to like parry attacks. He was being Batman, but just paralyzed.
This is, I want to quit. Hey.
Yeah,
you shouldn't do this. You knocked me into a thing. Oh, I don't have the muscle memory anymore. I can't play up the fact that I can still be Batman.
No, it's more like he's surprised by how easily he was beaten by his replacement, and so he chalks it up to being rusty.
Right.
And so he's like, I need to go through a kind of like crash course in being Batman, so he has to find the deadliest woman in the world, Lady Shiva, and in Night's End, she will train him into being Batman again so that he can kick Azrael's ass. But that's a story for another time in Night's End.
Right.
But KnightQuest is wholly forgettable, though it does answer some questions that you desperately need answered, like,
how does he get back?
how does he get back?
And how is he fixed?
Yes, or where does that insane suit come from? Like, I was reading Batman, and he looked kind of like Spawn, and that was kind of fun. But now he looks like a sharp Iron Man.
Right.
What is this?
Yep.
And also, the police hate him and stuff.
Right. Why did that happen?
Why did that happen? And they also keep talking about, like, justice for Abattoir, a character I couldn't even name until he died. Like, oh
Right,
no!
So is Knight's End the same with
Yes.
what? Batman has already decided to
be
return to be Batman at the end of this book, and it takes another book of equal length for him to actually defeat John Paul Valley?
Yeah,
He has
that's
to
right.
train again.
Yeah, yeah.
It took him an entire book to get broken.
Yeah, no, but by the time Knight's End begins, which is fun to say, the readership has completely fallen off, and the sales are in the goddamn toilet. And so Batman's journey to become Batman again from Lady Shiva, it ain't this long. It's more like 2 issues. And they just fast track that shit. They're like, we need to get him back in the suit, back in the saddle, because we need to get the readership to know that Batman's back. Like, literally,
Right.
there are 2 Batman Punisher crossovers that are happening in this time, and one of them is Jean Paul, and the other one is Bruce Wayne, and you could actually argue that they're both in the same continuity. Now, they're not, because they both came out around the same time, and in actuality, and we talked about this in our redux, I believe, of Batman Punisher, but also, Batman Punisher, DC was like, our Punisher crossover has to be in continuity and will be about Jean Paul, because we are convinced that people want to see Jean Paul team up with Punisher. Because at the end of the day, and I think that's what it is, we even did this in the first place because of Punisher.
Right.
Like, because
our
the readership
inspiration.
wanted us to make Batman into Punisher.
Yeah.
So it would stand to reason that the readership would double if they found out that, like, our Punisher teamed up with real Punisher. And Marvel, you could publish the one with real Batman. The one that everyone likes and remembers. And features John Romita Jr. drawing Batman for the first time. And also features the Joker. And not some naked Russians in a bathhouse. What? What indeed? But, Knight's End is coming. This was KnightQuest. It sucks. But you get to meet characters like the Tally Man and the Corrosive Man.
Oh boy, who
I mean,
Abattoir.
kind of.
Well, the less said,
And
the
the
better.
Trigger Twins.
Trigger Twins!
we did talk about them a little bit.
We sure did. I love it too, because you're like, in any other time, before or after, if the Trigger Twins showed up, they would have given Bruce Wayne Batman a run for his money. It would have been a 3-issue arc, and it would have been this whole thing. Instead, they're like, oh man! And then Jean Paul's like, who the fuck are these guys? And they're like, and then they don't show up again.
They're like, never mind. I don't need to be a criminal. I'm
They're
good.
just like, they might as well have been like, and just stop. Like, I'm sorry, this is all really stupid.
Take off all the cowboy stuff.
This is really stupid.
I don't do that anymore.
I'm sorry, it's really hard to be a cowboy when you poop yourself.
You can't unring that bell.
Okay.
Oh, Sanctuma, what shall I do with these 2? He's talking to himself.
Oh man.
And then they just leave.
Now. They make a Scooby-Doo pew sound effect when they run, and they leave 2 identical holes in the wall.
Shaped like cowboys. Cowboy hats
Cowboys,
on.
they're 10-gallon hats, which they wear in this book.
Actually, they both fit through the same hole.
Yeah, they go single file to hide their numbers. So we'll see you guys next with another episode. In the meantime, you want to check out KnightQuest. It's in the comments below. But I'm really only going to give you one link. You got to get the search.
This is the one you want.
But you want the search.
That's got
This
Bruce
is the
Wayne.
Yeah,
old-
this is
Yeah.
better.
I'd be very hesitant to say better, but it does have Bruce Wayne in it at least.
This one will have real Batman and also the Hood and some other characters. Alfred's in it.
Alfred's in it. There you go.
And-
this has Robin. Robin's in this.
Yeah, you get to see at least 2, maybe 3 times where Knightfall Batman picks up Robin by his throat and then throws him into something. It's really cool.
And Robin's just like, come on, man. I don't think this guy's gonna make it.
That. Constantly.
Like, Robin, what's it gonna take for you to
Robin.
leave the building
He has to
and
sleep
go
sometime.
find help?
He has to sleep sometime.
Here's the thing.
Just wait.
I was abandoned by my dad. I was abandoned by Bruce Wayne.
Right.
My mom died.
My mom died. Maybe this Batman will love me.
No.
I gotta give him chances.
Yeah,
Yep, I gotta
if
give him every
only.
chance.
No, he's just like, dude, this dude sucks.
I do
I'm like,
not
well,
like this guy.
I do not like this guy. He is bad news bears. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
but
we
like,
know.
Yeah, we all know.
That was apparent from day one,
It's like,
Robin. What are you
yeah.
gonna do, though?
Well, editorial won't let the story end, so like I can't do anything.
Here's the
That's
problem.
the
I
key
can't just
fretting about
contact Batman.
Yeah. Well, like, remember in Knightfall? Like, Nightwing shows up for 2 seconds and he's like, hey, what the actual fuck is going on? And Robin's like, I don't know. And then Nightwing's like, okay. And then he leaves.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where
Well,
is he?
I'm just insulted I wasn't called. Goodbye.
Why didn't Tim Drake call and be like, Nightwing, it's getting out of hand, man. I could
Yeah.
really use some
You
help.
could call Oracle. You could call
Yep.
Nightwing. You could call Alfred, who's pretty handy with that elephant gun.
Yeah.
I mean, really, just Alfred. Just Alfred just waits. And he's like,
Well,
do you need some tea? Alfred, I thought I told you. Although his suit would protect him because that suit is like, 20 inches thick.
Alfred's busy though.
Alfred
he's
is
working.
Yeah,
with
he's too busy
Bruce.
crying. I mean, he's actually really effective in the search until he quits and he goes, "Don't be dead," and he Michael Caine's it up and leaves.
You know where he doesn't have armor?
The crotch.
And his knees.
Yeah.
Those bolts bounce right off my chest. I'm not aiming at your chest. Gadoosh!
You know what would have been cooler? I don't want to get into a whole pitch session here right now, but like, what would have been way better for Night's End? Bruce Wayne's like, I gotta retrain. I gotta get good. Mm-hmm. If he went to Bane, and then Bane and Batman trained together, and then teamed up to beat Azrael.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
I think that would have been way more fun and poetic.
Yeah.
But doesn't Batman have to beat Bane?
Bane is already at his weakest. He's been expunged of the venom, and he's been defeated by Azrael Batman. So he's humiliated, and he doesn't have his secret weapon. Because he only would have beaten Batman if he A, didn't push him to the point of exhaustion, and B, have secret steroids. Like that also helps.
Right.
But with a detoxing Bane and a pre-epic Batman, you know what I mean? These two boy, we were both wrong. We both screwed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Bane gets back on the venom.
Eventually. But really, if you read Vengeance of Bane 2, he learns to be Bane without the venom. And in fact, Bane's new mission in Vengeance of Bane 2 is to destroy Venom. It would have given you something cool to do with Bane.
Yeah, but then Batman wouldn't have had the victory alone. You have to show that Batman's better than
Azrael.
Yes.
And in fact, the conclusion is better. It is more earned, and it's more authentic and really just kind of highbrow. It's better than him just being like, "Get back, you piece of shit!" Night's End is mostly just him being like, "When is he gonna get back, you piece of shit?" Until eventually he does defeat him, and it's just like it's fun. It's really fun. We'll get into it, but for now, we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, yeah, it's sharp there.
No, I know that logo, but yeah, I was thinking
Nightwing's logo, or the Batman and Robin.
the Batman and Robin logo.
Robin logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is 100% that. It's just this with fucking, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this issue where Azrael
Avatar
kills
dies.
that guy, and this other guy, he fails to save him.
Yeah.
It's unclear to me, what happens. They just don't find him?
They just don't find him.
Because Robin was there too, but I guess he just didn't know where to look.
They weren't able to ask Abattoir or interrogate him.
Oh, that's right. They needed Abattoir to tell them where he was.
Yes.
Yeah. So it wasn't just that he needed to save him because that was morally correct. We needed to save him to get the clues to get the information to get to the guy he
Exactly.
really needed to save.
This is how we're showing you kind of this is an anti-Batman issue.
Right.
In a regular Batman issue, he would have not killed him and then gotten the information to save the guy at the 0 hour, which was
Right.
the tension of the entire book.
Right.
Instead, this is what really
Right,
happens.
because he's not Batman, it all
falls
It all
apart.
goes to shit.
Exactly.
It's not really the scenario where Batman
It's
should
pushed
kill
to the
the
limit. And
Joker.
kill. No, it's not that.
There's no one to save.
Nope, it's not Joker and Batman and a lonely pier in the rain,
Right.
where he's just like,
He's just Joker, you killed thousands of people.
Joker, you've taken it to the limit this time.
Right.
It's like, no.
I can't.
I can't. It's like, and it's funny because like only with more time does Dark Knight Returns seem more relevant. Where he's just like, no more.
That's enough.
I'm 55 years old. I can't anymore.
I can't
you
do
killed
this
like
anymore.
dozens of children at the freaking county fair.
Yeah.
It's enough. And even then, his own subconscious won't let him do
Yeah.
it.
He's like, nah, I can't.
No! And Joker's like, that's okay. I just knew you wanted to. Like, that's horrific. But also, really cool.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm very okay with it. Still stands the test of time for me.
It works.
KnightQuest.
It works 100%.
KnightQuest. It works as much as this fails,
Yes.
which is all the way.
And it's infinitely shorter. It's like, it's just wait, hang in there, wait, I got you.
wait.
It's just, it's like a toddler trying to tell a story. You know Brandon? No. Well, Brandon.
I've never heard of that
I've never heard of that person
before
before in my life, and I never will again because I don't even think it's Brandon.
No.
Stupid kid.
It's not related to anything. You're just trying to keep talking.
Boo. you just have my attention, and you want
to keep it.
You want to keep it. You
I can't
fucking
believe there's
stupid kid.
another volume that's that
Just a secret
size.
volume. Oh yeah, no.
Just another.
I would pull it up, but it's actually it's
It's
separate.
over.
It's over, right?
There's one more issue where Batman defeats John Paul Valley. He's already back. He's healed. He's decided to beat him.
You could have ended it in the
I
Robin
can't.
issue.
I
You
can't.
literally, no. Jean Paul shows up. Batman's like, "What are you doing?" And Jean Paul's like, "I'm Batman." And then Batman defeats him without a costume.
Yep.
And he's just like, "Get the fuck out."
Well, you're done.
Yeah.
It's over. No. I got a lot more to say. I got some
then-
more things to say. I have some things to
Some
say
things?
about Azrael.
Because it's this thick. Like, you could have had a whole arc where Batman's Bruce Wayne again, and he's doing his thing, and Azrael is like skulking around in the shadows, and he like becomes the new Bane. You know, where he gets like a group of people that like maybe he beat the shit out of, he brutalized, and he makes his armor out of like garbage. You know, he becomes like, he's like, I am the true Batman, and like he's got his own Robin.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I
you need a
like
a
an Azrael
twisted
Robin, yeah, twisted Robin, and like and he's just like, I'll take this city, and then you can crescendo the thing with
Yeah.
like this weird twisted parallel of the Bat family,
Yeah.
and even
like a mirror of fucking Knightfall.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's an idea.
That's an idea, as opposed to this, which is nothing.
Which is nothing.